After stopping at the Capitol, the procession then continued to the Carter Center, where we saw a very private but intimate service filled with music and wonderful tributes from family members.
Fox 5's Eric Mock continues our team coverage from the live desk tonight. Eric, you were there when they arrived at the Carter Center. What was that moment like?
Christine, Eric, I can really say that it was unlike any moment I had ever experienced in my time reporting, in my years of reporting. It just was so reverential. It was filled with so much ceremony. The military was so heavily involved. It was all the ceremony you would hope for an American president, and especially one as impactful in his post-presidency years as President Carter. Members from every military branch were there. They helped bear his casket into the Carter Center. An Army band played a medley of tunes that were near and dear to the Carters. And it was just a really reverent and solemn, well, not really solemn, but just such an honorific occasion.
Yeah, it was very moving just witnessing it via television. I'm sure in person, Eric, it was really something. Thanks so much. The ceremony began inside the Carter Center with Jason Carter, the former president's grandson and current chair of the Carter Center Board of Trustees. Eric, what stood out to you most about Jason's remarks?
He paid tribute in many ways, Christine, to his grandfather, but one thing he said really stuck out to me. He said his grandfather lived a life as full and as powerful as any life could be. But he really used his time to just honor the employees and leaders of the Carter Center, who he said are carrying on his grandparents' legacy. Take a listen.
A world where kids don't go blind from preventable diseases like trachoma, where there's no such thing as guinea worm disease or river blindness, and where we've strengthened health systems far beyond the end of the road across some of the most marginalized places in the world. That is the work that gets done in this place, in these buildings, and one of the amazing parts of my grandparents.
Yeah, Eric, so he was really emotional there. He went on to say how proud his family he is to see the Carter Center continue that work. Can you really talk to us? We also heard from his son, Chip Carter, who also shared really beautiful but personal stories as well.
Absolutely, Eric, it was beautiful. And it was so interesting because we've been focusing all week on just his great accomplishments in the presidency and his post-presidency. But here we finally got to see the human side and just him as a father, as a dad to his children. And it was just so interesting and intimate to hear about these quiet moments. He talked about how his dad made him study Latin all through Christmas vacation when he had flunked a Latin test in school, and how he used to tell ghost stories to his Boy Scout troop. He even described some of the ghost stories as gross. It's just so interesting and you just get so much character from these stories you don't really see in other biographies or other aspects that we've been learning about his life. And just take a listen here about how moved he was when he was reflecting on the impact his parents have had on the world.
But he was an amazing man, and he was held up and propped up and soothed by an amazing woman. And the two of them together changed the world. And it was an amazing thing to watch from so close and to be able to be involved in.
Chip went on to remark about just how incredible it was to see all the people when they were coming there to the Carter Center. He said he saw people on every overpass over the freeway, all of them there to just show how loved his father was as they made their way into Atlanta. You could tell, I'm sure they had some idea of how impactful their father has been on the world, but to see it in person here in Georgia, again, people lining every street that they passed, it just seemed like it really, really touched their family.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter has said in an interview he hopes to be remembered as a wonderful grandparent, father, husband. So I think listening to that service today, that certainly is the case. It was really a beautiful legacy. Eric, thanks so much.